Picture this. You have to leave the house for a long workday. Or maybe you just need to jump onto a critical video call. To keep your pup from redecorating your living room with pillow stuffing, you fire up one of those 24-hour endless loops of squirrels running across a screen or dogs playing in a field. You look back, and your dog is absolutely glued to the television, tracking every single motion with intense focus. You think to yourself, perfect, this is the ultimate modern babysitter. But what if that simple screen is actually overloading their predatory motor patterns? What if you aren't providing calm relaxation, but instead leaving them trapped in a loop of digital hyper-arousal that causes severe behavioral frustration later? That is absolute cap.
Welcome back to Canine Dog Talk, where we strip away the superficial trends and look directly at core animal neurology so you can unlock real mental clarity for your best friend. Today, we are breaking down the absolute truth about media exposure for dogs, exploring how their predatory software reacts to digital illusions. Let's keep it completely real. Most owners assume their canine sees a flat-screen TV exactly the same way a human does. They think their pup is experiencing a cute fictional narrative or enjoying the scenery. But a dog's visual and sensory processing hardware operates on an entirely distinct frequency. While our human eyes see a smooth-moving image at 24 frames per second, an animal with an incredibly fast flicker fusion threshold looks at a standard television and often sees a flashing, strobing, chaotic mess of disjointed light. When you couple that with synthetic audio frequencies, you might be creating an environment that forces their central nervous system into fight-or-flight mode. Today, we are analyzing the deep cognitive mechanics behind canine-specific media, separating healthy environmental enrichment from psychological stress. By the time this complete behavioral breakdown concludes, you will possess master-level understanding of how digital media affects the canine mind. We will explore the exact frame rates required for their visual matrix to perceive motion, why certain high-pitched digital sounds trigger displacement behaviors, and how to properly utilize screen time to build environmental neutrality rather than separation anxiety. If you are ready to stop guessing and start mastering true psychological adjustment, check your treat pouches, dial in your focus, and let's unlock what happens when dogs watch digital screens. To master the concept of digital enrichment, we must first dive into the evolutionary sensory apparatus of the domestic dog. A canine's visual perception is completely optimized for detecting rapid motion in low-light environments, a direct legacy from their wild hunting ancestors. This optimization relies on two specific biological metrics: photoreceptor composition and the flicker fusion frequency. Human eyes are packed with cones that register rich trichromatic color and high-definition details. Canine eyes, however, are dominated by rods, which process motion and contrast. Because of this specialized wiring, their brain updates visual data at a significantly faster rate than ours. If you do not match the digital media to their biological specifications, you aren't entertaining them. You are flooding their visual cortex with static stress. Let's unpack phenomenon number 1, the mechanics of motion perception through frame rates. Flicker fusion frequency is the precise threshold speed at which individual flashes of light blend together into a seemingly seamless, fluid-moving picture. For the average human, that blending occurs around 60 Hz. Older, traditional television sets broadcasted at roughly 50 to 60 Hz. To a dog, whose flicker fusion threshold sits at approximately 70 to 80 Hz, those older screens look like a broken, vibrating strobe light at a nightclub. Modern high-definition screens running at 120 to 240 Hz are a complete game changer. For the first time in evolutionary history, domestic dogs can actually perceive fluid, realistic motion on a digital display, which explains why modern pups are so much more reactive to home entertainment systems. This brings us to phenomenon number 2, the visual spectrum and color optimization. Dogs possess dichromatic vision, meaning they only have 2 types of color-detecting cones in their retinas, specifically tuned to blue and yellow wavelengths. The entire red-green color spectrum appears to them as dull shades of gray or brown. Standard media engineered for human consumption is heavily saturated with deep reds, vibrant oranges, and rich greens. When a dog looks at standard television, the lack of color contrast can make the figures blend into the background, creating visual confusion. Specialized media platforms explicitly designed for canines manipulate the color space, shifting the color balancing entirely into blue and yellow spectrums, allowing the animal's brain to instantly isolate shapes, silhouettes, and movements with crystal clarity. However, we must address the massive psychological trap of predatory motor pattern frustration. Every dog carries a genetic sequence that dictates their predatory drive: orient, eye, stalk, chase, grab bite, and kill bite. When a dog watches a digital video of a squirrel or a bird darting across a screen, the rapid motion instantly triggers the orient, eye, and stalk software inside their primitive brain. Their adrenaline spikes, their pupils dilate, and their muscles lock up as they prepare for the chase. But when they lunge at the glass panel, there is zero physical feedback. There is no scent to track, no physical object to grab, and no closure to the predatory loop. If you leave a highly driven dog watching this loop for hours, the inability to complete the sequence causes severe chemical frustration, which often manifests as tail chasing, pacing, or reactive barking at everyday noises. Let's drop some essential breed-specific psychology, because different genetic working lines process digital stimuli completely differently. A highly sight-driven herding or sighthound breed, such as a border collie, a whippet, or a Belgian Malinois, is exceptionally sensitive to movement on a screen. Their focus will be intense, micro-tracking every pixel shift, and they are the most prone to developing obsessive screen fixation behaviors. Conversely, a scent-dominant tracking breed like a bloodhound or a basset hound will look at a screen for 2 seconds, realize the glowing rectangle emits zero olfactory data, and completely ignore it. For a scenthound, if a stimulus doesn't have a chemical scent profile, it practically does not exist. You must understand your specific dog's breed profile before assuming digital media is an appropriate tool for their nervous system. So, how do we properly implement digital media without destroying our dog's behavioral baseline? You must transition from predatory stimulation to environmental desensitization. Instead of showing them hyper-arousing clips of prey animals that trigger a chase reflex, utilize media that showcases ordinary, everyday occurrences at a sub-threshold volume. Choose videos featuring passing delivery trucks, children playing calmly, or other canines walking peacefully on a leash. Pair this visual presentation with passive classical counter-conditioning. While the video plays at a low, non-threatening volume, calmly deliver high-value food rewards, or allow them to work on a long-lasting chew or stuffed puzzle toy. You are using the screen to build real-world neutrality, teaching their analytical brain that chaotic visual stimuli can be processed with absolute calm. Furthermore, control the duration and context of screen exposure. Digital entertainment should never replace physical decompression walks, nose work, or authentic social engagement with the handler. Think of media strictly as a minor, structured tool within a broader behavioral framework. Monitor your pet for somatic signals of stress during exposure: a rigid tail carriage, panting when the room is cool, or low whining are clear warning signs that the screen is overstimulating their limbic system. If you see these signs, immediately shut down the media, step back, and adjust your approach. True environmental confidence is built through predictable, real-world mastery, not through a flickering digital illusion. If this deep-dive behavioral breakdown completely revolutionized how you view your pup's screen time and gave you the exact scientific tools to protect their nervous system from digital overload, hit that subscribe button right now and smash the like button to blast this video straight through the algorithm. Drop a comment below telling me your dog's breed and whether they ignore the TV completely or try to attack the characters on screen. We release these deep-dive canine psychology blueprints and tactical relationship guides every single week right here on Canine Dog Talk, all specifically engineered to eliminate behavioral chaos and build an unbreakable bond of trust. Make sure to ring that notification bell so you never miss a training drop. Keep protecting your dog's psychological threshold. Stay incredibly consistent, and I will catch you in the very next video.